Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode number 11, the big 1-1 Snow Day Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Dalton Barrett, along with my co-host, Max Slinden. Max, how we doing today?
We're doing great. We're feeling training camp. I got to spend the weekend at Drake training camp. I mean, that was fun. It's good to see everybody. Good to see pads popping. We had our first day of full pads today. And Dalton, you're on a hot streak. Two episodes in a row. You got the episode number right.
That just means I'm getting, it's almost football season. I'm pumped up, man. One of my favorite times of the year. My first fall in a very long time where I'm not having a fall camp or training camp or anything. Mentally, I'm a little, I don't know, but physically, my body feels good finally. But getting to be one of the best times of the year. So I'm excited.
Oh yeah, we've already had our first NFL game of the year. We've had the Hall of Fame game. Every other team starts their preseason this weekend, so we're getting close. Like
Mhm.
we have a football game in a couple weeks, like an actual that will actually count towards the record, and we start in Dublin here very soon.
hmm Yeah, college football. Man, forgot the early game this year over in Ireland. That's exciting. It's gonna be a good one too.
I mean, Iowa State had their first 10-win season ever, and like they're still a really good team. They still have Rocco Becht at the helm. Like they'll be a very exciting team to watch, and I always like the Dublin game, and this is a very potentially the best matchup they've had over there.
I would agree. Not only am I excited because football is back, but when you throw in the stakes with this game, I mean, early in the season, it's kind of hard to tell how everything's going to pan out. But hey, we got two really good football teams going at it. I'm pumped up, especially because Iowa State's not too far from us, anyways. You in particularly, and a lot of kids that we kind of watched in high school growing up and getting to play in that game. So speaking of one, Carson Hansen, Lakeville's South kid actually. I got to talk with his AD earlier this spring, and sounds like he's just the nicest kid on the planet. So I'm looking forward to seeing him get to tear it up.
Hopefully, both teams don't completely collapse like Florida State did last year after playing in Dublin. That was kind of the beginning of the end there for Florida State in their season. They had a very rough go of it, and hopefully both teams do better than that this year.
Yeah, I would agree. Watching out of football here, so it's still baseball season. A lot has unfortunately happened for the Twins. We wish we could say that the poll ads sold the team. Unfortunately, they didn't. They did a lot worse, unfortunately. They're trading away about the entire team. Max launched me into this. This has been ridiculous.
They sold pretty much everything but the actual team itself, and it's kind of the one thing everybody wanted to see gone was them as owners. And I think this is the tipping point for a lot of fans. Trade deadline came Thursday, and Twins ended up trading 10 players last week. And for a 26-man roster, 10 players are quite a lot. I have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 trades made last week with 7 teams. The Phillies double dipped with us. They sold probably a lot more than they even needed to, I thought. Like Willie Castro, Harrison Bader, Ty France. I completely understand. They were not going to be here next year. Get assets for them while you still can, but
Jaron Duran, though, really? They're gonna.
that's my point. Like, do you have to dismantle the entire bullpen?
He's a freaking young. I mean, he's arguably the best closer in baseball right now. Best closer the Twins have had since I'm gonna say Joe Nathan. I mean, Glenn Perkins was a stud, but I feel like Duran's better than Joe or Glenn Perkins, and everybody knew when he came into the game, he meant business, and that was the tip of the iceberg for me.
Yeah, I can even justify Carlos Correa's trade. Like he was not producing at the level of that contract, and you get a lot of relief there, especially for small market teams. You need relief. We saw it when Joe Mauer couldn't live up to his high value contract. But you can't trade Duran, Jax, Colomé, and Varland out of the same bullpen. Like you just can't rebuild that. Like there's no way your magic beans are going to turn into that. And that's all you get with prospects is magic beans. What if one of them turns into Jarrett Duran? You already have Duran. And like Louis Varland's under team control till 2030.
Right.
It's like he definitely could have helped with the rebuild. Like Colomé, I kind of understand. He probably wasn't here for the long term, but Duran's here till 2027. Jax has multiple years, and like I don't understand the complete blow up of this team.
Yeah. You would have thought, if you were looking to sell the team, you'd want to, keep them, like they were, a contending team that just had a bad season that is going to be tougher than nails next year. Now you just freaking drop the value of the team a whole lot. I mean, 2 years ago, we were talking about World Series. We were legit talking about going to the freaking World Series 2 years ago. Now well, we ain't going to finish last in the division because there's the White Sox, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, and like the high Minnesota felt winning the first series of our lifetime, and I can go out in the bar and have a cold brew. They just won while I was in college, their first series, and the high of that, and like the young core of that, and how excited Minnesota fans are, and you completely collapsed last year. Then you just completely blow it up next year. And like this isn't and you've probably blown it up for next year too. And the year after, like, and it's so disappointing as a Minnesota fan and like Twins fan. And I think there's a difference between punting on the year and just selling off all assets. And I feel like they did the
And
latter.
I don't know anybody in their right mind right now that would be interested in buying the Twins, to be completely honest. I mean, you're not a contender for the next 3 years. You're not even close in the next 3 years. Like, I don't know.
All I gotta say is thank God Byron Buxton had a no trade clause because he definitely would have been out the door.
He would have been one of the first ones gone.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, we're lucky Joe Ryan isn't on that list.
Uh-huh. And like Carlos Correa waived his no trade clause because he realized how bad things were getting here. So I'll be honest, I don't mind that trade. I don't mind that trade one bit.
No, I think in the grand scheme of it, of the 10, like it's definitely not the worst. I'm like, one I'm the most unsatisfied with was the Louis Varland one.
Minnesota kid.
Like, there is absolutely zero reason to trade him. Like, unless you think he's unsustainable at that peak, you don't trade him. And I think another thing that bothers me is that I feel like the Twins could have gotten more for their guys. Like, they have zero of an organization's top three prospects.
Mhm.
They got zero. You trade a Duran. You trade these high-end bullpen guys. You gotta at least get a like high prospect. Now, granted, Duran got two top 100 MLB prospects.
There's no guarantee those are going to turn out though. But like, I was listening to the radio the other day. Those are purely just rankings on what people think. I've seen top 100 prospects that are batting 150 in the minor leagues and that don't ever turn out to be anything.
I remember when being in middle school, the Twins having one and two prospects in baseball. Now one did turn out in Byron Buxton.
But Miguel Sano,
But
like,
then you have Miguel Sano, who I don't know where he went to continue his baseball career. And like, he wasn't a great player in the majors, and he wasn't this highly touted prospect in the majors. Like, he could hit for power, but that was about it.
yeah, I remember guys like Tyler J too. He came out of college, he was this Big Ten pitcher of the year, for Illinois, was dominant. They're saying, oh, he'll be in the big leagues in 2 years. I don't think he ever made about a high A.
No, I mean, and sometimes it sucks getting the wrong prospect. Like, prospects in baseball have the one of the lowest upside rates. Like, you frequently don't see them playing ever for major league teams. And I think you almost have to take more of them on just to see the success of potentially hitting on one.
Yeah. You just pulled up the draft from that season, MLB draft, and Andrew Benintendi was picked after him, followed by Carson Fulmer, two guys that have made a great career in the MLB.
Yeah, I mean, even Ian Happ at pick nine would have been a good one. He's been a
Josh Naylor at
contributor.
12 there.
Josh Naylor has been a thorn in our side for the Guardians. Like, these guys have had good careers, and you got a guy who did nothing for the Twins.
Mhm.
Yeah, it looks even worse when he's sandwiched in between Kyle Tucker too.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
Like,
And then, not to mention Ian Happ's right there. I think you probably just said that. I mean, these are all stars that he's sitting in between and guys that had a very quality major league career, and we'd take the worst one out of the bunch. I get, that's how it kind of goes. I mean, we've had luck in the draft with Joe Mauer, but think about it, that was 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago.
he's already in the Hall of Fame. Like, he's had a
Right.
Hall of Fame career, been inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's how long ago it was.
Mhm.
I don't know. Hopefully these guys turn out because you want these guys to do well, and it sucks because we know why it was done this way, and it's just hard to just see a team that's like, yeah, we don't want to win now or really
Well,
in the next couple of years. Like,
yeah, the last few years it's always been, man, this season we're gonna this season's the season. things are going to finally be, turned around, especially after 2 years ago. Like last year, we kind of flopped at the end of the season, took us out of it. But, coming into the year, the expectation was, all right, we're a playoff team. We're going to be a contender. Now we're trading half our roster because, why not?
Yeah, I think it's those really good teams. What do they all have? Really good bullpens.
hmm We just traded three, four really good bullpen arms.
I just don't understand like it and why it's everybody had to go. And I think Griffin Jacks saw the writing on the wall. I think it's been reported he requested his trade.
Right.
Why do you got to alienate Griffin Jacks to that point? Like you could keep Duran Duran, you can keep Louis Varland, you can keep a Griffin Jacks, maybe trade a Colomé, maybe trade Willie Castro, like trade a Harrison Bader. They're not going to help you next year. And
Right.
we don't need their help this year. We're beyond that point. I think it's keeping guys under contract who are also under contract next year, and I just don't get that.
Yeah, the other night when Duran made his home appearance at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia there, when I turned the lights off, I saw that video. It about brought me to tears. I couldn't even watch it.
No,
Well, then he comes out and throws the hardest pitch in all of Major League Baseball that game this season, and it's like, God.
we had that, and I remember talking in June, like, oh man, how good the attendance is like how high everybody was, especially after the winning streak. The weather was nice, like everything worked out, and fan morale just plummeted. I think this is definitely the lowest it's been in my lifetime.
I would 100% agree.
And like deservedly so. It's the Twins don't have anybody to blame but
You
themselves,
know,
and Bullheads can get out of there soon.
yeah, the last few years, I've always thought, things were looking up. We ended up purchasing the St. Paul Saints. You got a AAA team right down the road. That's going to help with attendance a lot. Having that team right in the state. Minor league teams were doing well. Well, I don't know if we have a minor league team with a winning record right now.
Yeah, I mean it does help that we just created another one,
Right.
and that's kind of diluting our product, but still, yeah, it's like just know things you can support and have fun, and like look at our friends across the river in Wisconsin. They root if you're rooting for the Brewers, you're having a whale of a time. They're one of the best teams in the National League and have a real shot of going deep into the postseason. And
Mm.
we're just gonna watch from afar. Just sad. Well, at least the Twins don't have to worry about making October plant.
Yeah. At least we can worry about football then.